Hi everyone, you reach Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. Welcome here today for Relationship Wednesday. And today's topic is going to be about the 90-day rule. We're going to get into that. Sex versus lovemaking and one night stands. Can you be respected after having a one night stand? So I'm bringing my cohort into the building, Chef Kev.
What's
What's
up?
up? How's it going?
It's going. It's going.
It's
It's going.
going. It's going. It's going. Listen, guys, as you come in the building, don't forget to hit that like button for this video. We would love it if you do that. And also chat with us in the comments so we know you're here. Let us know any questions you have. Talk to us. Uh-oh, I lost Chef Kev for a minute there. He'll come back in the building, but we'll go ahead and get started. Steve Harvey wrote a book. It's a few years old now. I can't even remember. Hey Tia, how you doing? Wait, Chef Kev back in the building. There you go. So Chef Kev, Steve, what's that
Can you
book
hear me?
Steve Harvey wrote? I can hear you. What's the book Steve Harvey wrote? You can't hear me? Okay, you gotta go figure out your thing because you can't hear me. So Steve Harvey wrote a book. I'm trying to think of the name of the book. Maybe I could look it up real quick. But I know Steve Harvey wrote a book, and in this book he talked so much. I read the book way back when he first wrote it. There you go. Can you hear now? You good?
Yeah, I got you. We good. We good. We
Okay,
good.
perfect. So Chef Kev, what is that book Steve Harvey wrote?
Hold up. Act like a woman, think like a man.
Thank you. Here we go again. Think like a man, act like a woman, think like a man. Yes. And in that book, he talked about the 90-day rule, right? And when he wrote that book, everybody lost their mind, went absolutely crazy. All these females was following the rules and the regulations in that book to the T because they thought at the end of the day they was going to find their dream man because they followed these rules in the book. How do you feel about this 90-day rule? Also, there's that couple, help me out, Kev, that couple, I want to say she's an actress, he's a minister or a preacher or some sort, and they also did this 90-day rule. I heard a rumor that they are supposedly getting a divorce. Don't know how true it is, but
Megan Good?
Megan Good and her husband, yes. So there's so many people that swear by this 90-day rule. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is it's the personal preference. Um, I don't see what 90 days is going to do personally. You can make it 120 days, make it 60 days. Um, I don't think 90 days is going to help you catch a man. If you don't want to do something because of religious beliefs or you just feel it's personal. I can understand that, but a person will wait 90 days, but doesn't mean they're not having sex with other people. People wait 90 days, and whatever the intentions were, still will come out. Like you said, when you showed up, your representative showed up, and then sometimes it's 6 months to a year later, so you see who you really got, who you're really dealing with. And so, 90 days, it's supposed to weed out the bad people, but some people will wait around because here's the deal: if you 90 days, obviously you're not living together. So I got my place, you got your place. We have our moments when we don't see each other. We have our moments where the situation is what it is. So you can't see nobody, you can't watch somebody 24/7. So I mean, like, if someone's willing to wait for you, then fine. I have no problem with that. Wait till, as a man, I'll wait till the woman is comfortable. When you're comfortable and stuff, but it doesn't determine the relationship because you made somebody wait. I think it was Ashanti who was talking about her relationship with Nelly and how he didn't get it right away and she made him wait. You're still not together, so what was the purpose of it? So to me, do what you want to do, but don't think 90 days because you waited 90 days, it's going to solidify the relationship. I think that's stupid.
It's more of a guideline, basically to invite you to stop and think about the person you are sexually engaging with. Here we go again. I do like that thought process, right? Because you need some guidelines as to who you are getting involved with. Because listen, even if you use birth control, there is a potential that you will get pregnant, and then now you just pregnant, and the father of your child can potentially be a fool, and you can get yourself into some shenanigans and some nonsense. So I do like your point that it is a guideline so that you have a time period to get to know this person before you actually sleep with them. So I'm glad you brought up that particular point. I will tell you how I feel about the 90-day rule. Um, I think it's a mixed bag. And of course, any conversation we have, you can just drop the seed of, do what you feel, right? But this is about our opinion. So my opinion on this situation is pregnant, yes. How about all of those STDs out there? Yes, that is so true. And see, that's the other thing too. Um, it when you the older you get, or even someone should educate these younger people, get some blood work, some tests back as proof before you engage responsibly with sex before you get into it. So ask this person, can I see your most recent blood work? Or maybe y'all both get a prescription from your doctor together, and go to the lab together on one day. And then when the results come back, y'all share your results before you even engage. So, yes, it's a guideline. And I think the guideline is that at least in that time period, you should be comfortable getting to know each other and getting all the information. Now, whether somebody's going to tell you the truth or not, that's a whole nother story in and of itself, right? But at least you're giving yourself some wiggle room there to get to know them and the information that you want to ask them before you engage sexually and they're touching your body. So I do like that, it's some type of window there, some type of guideline to say to you, say to yourself, well, let me try to get to know this person before we engage, before they touch you, the most precious gift you have, and that is your body. So, one of them. So I do like that it's a guideline, but I also do know people. There are situations where, people they met, they slept together, they're still together to this day. There's situations where there's people they met, they waited 90 days, they waited a year, and they're not together right now. So you can argue on both sides of what's going to work. And that's where the conversation comes in, that, what, it's the individual thing. But I think collectively, the guideline should be that you get to know this person before you engage with them sexually.
Not just get to know them, but be comfortable with them. That's a very important thing people don't talk about. This the comfortable is being comfortable around somebody. You know, if you feel you're walking on eggshells, I mean, we all put our best foot forward when we first meet somebody. When you get comfortable with somebody, you start to let your guards down. You let your hair down, and you see who you're really dealing with. And so that's very important to me. It's like when you're comfortable with somebody, you're comfortable. That person's not comfortable. I don't even want to have sex with you because I don't want you uncomfortable around me. It makes me uncomfortable. So in 90 days, um, it depends on how much time you spend with that person, how much time you're around that person. 90 days can become 60 days. You know what I mean? 90 days can, so to me, it felt like a lot of people was just doing it in the sense of hoping, okay, if I wait 90 days, this is what's going to happen. To me, there's no, when you're an adult, I'm not talking about young kids, when you're an adult over 21, your time limit is your time limit, whatever you feel, you know what I mean? And whenever you're ready. And that's the way it is. But I've seen some crazy things, but I mean, it's just the point of to each his own. But I understand the 90-day guideline, but to me, it just doesn't, I never seen it determine anything in my eyes, in my situations. I never seen it determine anything. It didn't make the relationship better or worse. It was just 90
So,
days.
So what is the quickest in a new relationship that you engaged?
First day.
Mm, okay. I had to take a sip. I had to take a
Well,
sip.
that's to tell you. I
So
waited a long time, and I was in the first day, so it didn't determine anything. You know, um, I waited a long time for somebody to realize he wasn't sexually compatible. I thought we could have got this over with the first time and just dealt with it, but we was not sexually compatible, not at all. He was.
so
It
was
was
that
just.
did that determine the longevity of your relationship? Like once you found out y'all were not sexually compatible, were you done?
It was just. It was sad because we were really good friends. We were really, really good friends, and what what was expected out of me. I would say what was expected out of me. She, became an issue. You know what I mean? It's like she expected me to move in. It was just, and then just I, I was here and she was there. I was, different pages.
So let
And
me ask you this, Kev. How was the relationship before you had sex?
cool as hell.
So then
Cool.
sex was the end all be all then for you.
Yeah, for both of us. We just was just it was just tried it 2 times, 3 times, and just like this ain't working. This ain't
I,
working.
I'm okay. So then let me ask you this: was you in love with her?
In love with her? No. I loved her. I mean, we were real cool. I loved her. We was real cool people. We known each other for over a year, actually. And then because I was real with it. She wanted a relationship at the time. I was nowhere near that at that stage of my life, so I was just doing me. And then we just started hanging out, and spending time together, and just became something more. And then the sex got involved, and it was just like I, I don't know. It just wasn't there. It just didn't click. It just didn't click. So
So then sex is like a top priority on your list. If
yeah,
you are not sexually compatible with the person that you perhaps may love or in love with, then that's going to be the end of the relationship.
probably,
Wow.
probably. I mean, it's not like that relationship. I mean, because it wasn't a dysfunctional situation where like somebody's body part wasn't working.
No,
It
I'm
was
following
just,
you.
it was just not compatible. I mean, some people you might say, oh, a little rough or a little this or that. It just wasn't compatible. It just wasn't compatible. We should have just remained friends and just left it at that. She made it. I mean, I thought we were just going to remain friends. She pushed the issue out the blue. I was like, okay, because we were really good friends, so why not? People like, yo, man, you hook up with your best friend. That's a good relationship. And it is, and just didn't work out. Just didn't work out.
Um, wow, is all I can say. That's fine and that's interesting. So at least you know what you want. At least
Hmm.
you know that, the top priority for you is sex.
No, it's
And
not a
so,
top. It was not a top priority, but it was back then. The damn show was back then. Yes, back then. You talking
okay, so
almost
forget
20 years
about
ago.
back then. Let's talk now. Right now, if you meet somebody that you fall in love with and y'all are not sexually compatible, is that the end?
We can work on that.
Oh, now you're
We can
willing
work
to work on it.
because I'm in a different mindset right now.
I got you. That's fair enough. That's fair
I'm
enough.
different.
Okay. So you said your earliest was the first day that y'all had sex, but with that person or maybe those people, did the relationship last long after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough because it's said by a lot of people that the men do not respect women that they sleep with on the first night. But you're saying you're cool with it and y'all continue to have a nice relationship after y'all slept together on the first night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask you, what was so like, I don't know, like what happened that on after this first date that y'all could just sleep together on the first night? I don't know, but I'm confused about that.
It was just it was just the chemistry. It was just that magic. It was something, you know, you saw each other for the first time, you laid eyes, you just knew it was something there. It was something there. A lot of times, not a lot of times, there were relationships where I was told no because they wanted to say no, because they wanted to make me wait, but they wanted it just as much as I did. So the only difference between this relationship and the other ones was that this person just acted on it. You know what I
I-
mean?
I'm following you. I'm following you. So wait,
And
here we go again. Say, hold on one second, Kev. I think that the mistake people were making with that 90-day challenge was thinking that it was some sort of guarantee of longevity. And I do agree with you because so many people. But if I have to read the book again, but if I'm remembering, here we go again. He kind of presented it that way. Steve Harvey kind of presented it that if you follow these different rules, this is how you're going to find your soulmate. This is how you're going to find a good relationship. And I think that's why people had that confusion that you're writing about. So Tia said it can happen if the chemistry is there. But are you confusing? And I got you, Tia. I'm with you. But are y'all confusing chemistry? Because you know how when you first meet somebody and
hmm
y'all are just vibing, are you
hmm
confusing chemistry with the newness of first meeting somebody and y'all just vibing that your clothes fall off on the first date?
no, it's just I mean, sometimes been on dates where you knew automatically, okay, this is okay. How fast can I get me something to eat and get up out of here? There was just nothing there. So you know what I mean? Dates where you just it's the newness, and you look, and it ain't nothing to do with they look. They pretty as hell, and you looking at them, and it's like the more they open their mouth, the more you want them to shut up, and it's like okay, and you just chilling, and you just trying to get through, and like when you sitting there, you on appetizers, they on you on entrees, and you sitting there when they on dessert, you looking for the check. Like, yo, hey, what I'm saying? Here, tip the dude. All right, it's been nice knowing you. Boom. Maybe we can holler at you again. You get up out of there and you call somebody else up. They've never done that. So
Wait,
you do
Kev, wait, Chef Kev, this is a good question. I want to know from Chef Kev what happened or didn't happen during sex that made y'all not compatible. I love that question.
ooh. Um
Keep it as clean as you can.
oh my God. How can I say this? Okay, you know how you put the round peg in a round hole? It was like putting the square peg in a round hole. It just didn't fit. It just didn't fit. It just wasn't It just wasn't there. It just didn't fit. Sorry.
Well,
I don't know what
see,
else to tell
you
you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it was because she had been celibate for a long time. I don't know what that would, I don't know. It just didn't work. Sorry. It just,
you see
mm.
what she wrote to you?
I can find it just fine. I can find it in my sleep. So trust me. That wasn't the problem.
Kev,
That
you
was
know
not the
what?
problem.
We had this conversation before, and I won't go down the wicked hole again, but I will say this. I personally, I can't fathom it, comprehend it, how you can have bad sex with someone you love. Like, I don't know.
It was just,
It
but
just
see, the
over
point
my
was,
head.
the thing was, when I mean by fit, I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about penetration. I'm just saying, I was using that example, it didn't fit.
No, I
But
understand what you're saying.
what
She's
I'm saying,
working
I'm
with
not talking
you.
about penetration, but I'm saying it's like, she was moving one way, I was moving another way. It was, I looked up and I'm sitting there and I'm saying like, "Are you serious right now?" Like I'm sitting. It was just crazy. So the first time I said, "I can't give you the first time." I gave the second time. By the third time, I was done. By the third time, it was like, we ain't doing this right now. So
Thank you, Love and Life, and thank you for subscribing.
hey, so it was that. So I mean, like I said, it was that situation. But like I said, I would have not have had sex because we had a real cool friendship, and it died. He was cool as hell.
So here's the thing, Kev, right? Everybody's not born knowing how to have sex. Like you learn, right? There's people
Hmm.
that teach you, right? Sometimes
Hmm.
people are just not sexually compatible. I get it. How do you have bad sex with the man you love? See, that's what I'm saying. Here we go again. I can't fathom that. I don't understand that. So here's the thing though, right? Everybody's not born learning how to move, go this way, or do whatever. Like someone has to teach you. And
But that's
sometimes,
but hold up. It's a
yeah.
good thing. You talk about teaching, right?
Hmm.
You have to want to be taught. You have to want to learn. I have to want to learn your body just like you wanted to learn my body. Just like you hear people who think they know.
Well, maybe y'all didn't really know each other enough, and before you engage, but you said you knew. Was it a whole year that you known her before you actually had sex? Like, so here's the thing, like, it's a mixture of all of these things, and maybe they happen kind of simultaneously, right? So maybe again, the
3 years.
dating, y'all know each other 3 years.
3 years.
I don't know, but is that the only person that you were not compatible with?
Yes. Well, other than but that we never had sex though, because you people tell you they fetishes and stuff, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I already knew before I stepped in the room, I'm not stepping in this ring.
But
You know,
every other relationship you was in, y'all were compatible sexually.
compatible, or we got there. Like you said, if something was off, we was. The
Y'all
thing is
figured
to
it
me,
out.
yeah, figured it out. I think the thing when it comes to sex, the thing is to be open minded. I think that's when you go into this closed minded state and you're just I got these three positions or whatever. It could be, it's the whole thing is this. That's where the comfort comes
Hold on
in.
1 second, Kev. Hey, Marcella, love you, girl. Thank you. Go ahead.
Here's where the comfortability comes in. When you're comfortable with somebody, when you're comfortable being with someone, that person's not going to hurt you or do anything to you. It's wonderful. So it's like I said, when you're comfortable with someone, it's real. It's real easy. It's real easy. It's real. I got an ex to this day who talks about, and she was actually one of the ones that was first date. She talked about how comfortable she felt around me. I didn't. I felt our first date. I could see she was uncomfortable. So I just try to change the subject to what she can. And she started talking about her kids, and we started talking about kids, and this, and we started talking about music. And then, in the middle of the date, she just got up and kissed me. And so it went that way. I didn't approach it that way, but you know what I mean. So sometimes you just hit it off. You know what I mean. But the reason I'm saying is, like I said, if it's a personal thing with you, with someone, you say, look, I want somebody to wait for this until I feel comfortable, until I'm ready, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I don't see if you're worried about him just hitting and running, then like I said, a do to work 90 days, a do to wait 180 days, do to wait 2 years. You know what I mean? It's just like the money situation. A lot of times people determine, oh, he took me on a beautiful date or an unbelievable date. There are guys who would drop bread just to hit it. You know what I mean? They would take it to the most expensive restaurants, buy the biggest bottle of champagne, wine, whatever, put you in a limousine, whatever, 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 just to smash. They don't care. That's not because their pockets can bear that. But they know different from the dude who want to take you to McDonald's. They all have the same motive. They just want to hit it and run. So that's what their motive is. That's their motive is. And wait 90 days, 120 days, whatever you have to make wait, they're gonna be going. So to me, it just determines where the 90 rule comes in for people like myself when I was in that mode. Um, I knew I wasn't waiting. So I would be out. Okay, you can call me in 90 days, but I'm not waiting for you. So yeah, I was real with it. I was real with it. You can call me messy all you want. When I was out there doing my whole and stuff, the woman can't say I lied to them. I let you know how I got down. I let you know what I was about. There was no nonsense, and I was real with it. I was completely real with it. Someone could say, "Oh, Kev lied to me." Nah, this is what I'm about. You know. And so you just, there were dates. I showed up with the paperwork in my pocket. STD, new seat right here, boom. We was,
Yeah, but they didn't have this.
huh? Oh no,
They
we
didn't have
requested.
this in your pocket.
It was requested. It was spoken on. It was spoken on. We spoke. I was honest when I was out there
Is
doing
it
what I was.
the day you had did y'all start to get on the first date? Y'all exchange paperwork? Come on now, stop.
No, we didn't sleep together on the first date. Not me and that person, but that was
But
something we
I'm
brought to
talking
the
about
first
the
date.
person you did. No, y'all ain't exchange no paperwork on the first date,
The
Kevin. Don't say
person, no, I'm just saying that one person, but I'm saying, are you talking about relationship or are you talking about having sex on the first date?
no, but I'm asking you a question, but that's fine. But let's slide into the next topic. People use a play of words, sex versus lovemaking. Do you think there is a difference?
Emotionally.
Okay.
Some people think it's the act, but I don't think so. I mean, if you find that guy and you fall in love with him, um, and he has a certain skill set, but he says, well, I used to do this when I was hoeing around, but now that I'm a one woman man, I don't want to do this. You're gonna say, why do I want to miss the pleasures of this? I mean, you want to have fun. And so the difference is emotional. You can do the same act, but it's emotional, you
Yeah,
know.
well, Tia, and here we go again, is agreeing with you. They're saying yes, that it is a difference. So I know you're saying emotional. So are you saying with your partner, you can have sex with your partner and it's different from when you have sex with your partner and when you're making love to your partner? Or are you saying when you're with your partner, someone that you love, it's always making love versus having sex?
I mean, you can call it. Some people look at it differently from the physical, from how you do it. So if it's a quickie, they figure, okay, that's sex because it was a quickie, or because we got toys or swings and whatever. But you're doing it with the person you love. I can have candles lit, soft music playing, missionary style, and not love you. Is that making love?
Well, you're telling me it's a difference, so you got to answer me. I like what Here We Go again said. She said there's definitely a difference. I just don't know how you go back to just sex when you made love to someone that you love. Marcella said yes, and no sex leads into love making if it's more than one encounter. First time becomes a soul tie. Yes, yes. Marcella, if you want to join the conversation, I do believe, or if anybody wants to join, I did put the link in the chat if anybody wants to join the conversation. So here's the thing. This again, Kev, this is my thoughts, my opinion. I think when it's my mate, no matter what we do, a quickie or whatever, I'm always making love to that person. So
Hmm.
it's never, and like you said, because it's that emotional connection, right? It doesn't matter. Unlike, if we get into a little something, be like, okay, we got 2 minutes before we go, whatever the case may be, it's always with my emotions and my intention in it because of the way I feel about my mate. Now, I personally, sex is physical. This, here we go again, and saying making love is intimate. Okay, I like that. I like that. Distinction.
But here
So
we go
go ahead.
again. Here we go again. Hold on. So you can't say if the man you love is pulling your hair and smacking your ass, that's not love making. You love him.
Well,
That's
that could be intimate to somebody, I
yeah.
guess.
To
Yeah,
me,
so that's what all she's saying is that sex is physical. I'm thinking she means that if I just meet somebody today and I slept with them, I'm having sex with them.
yeah.
But if it is my mate, then I'm making love to them. I'm taking
Yeah.
it that way. Yeah, that's
Yeah, the
what I'm
difference
taking
is
away.
the connection with that person, the emotional connection here. So
Like the
it's you still
emotional connection with
yeah.
that person.
I'm in
Yeah.
love with you, and we might be doing something non-traditional when it comes to sex, but it's
Mhm.
still love making. So it's non-traditional, you know what I mean? But it's I look at it still as making love. I don't look at it as something different. I think that's a
Yeah, that's what she's saying to you though. The
yeah.
same difference. So yeah.
Hmm.
So everybody I think pretty much agrees on the definition and the different. Hey, here come my boo. I think she coming in. Hey, hey. Thank you for
Hey,
stopping by.
yes. Now, let me explain something. When you meet a guy, I'm gonna tell you a little story. You meet a guy in the club, and y'all fuck, because it's not even sex. You're fucking. But then you decide to see this guy again. Y'all after y'all do this, y'all exchange numbers, and then he hit it again 3 days later. The third time, you got some feelings for them and him. And usually it's the woman who becomes attached to the man because it's not the man, it's the woman. Women sometimes mistake love for lust. The guy might have lust. Now I got 12 brothers. They keep hitting it. That's just their booty call. On and on. But when you're making love to your mate, y'all have had communication. Y'all have gotten to know something about one another. And
Mhm.
it's just, oh, PG. Well, y'all got to know one another. Then you go into the love making. But guess what? If you go in too fast, that makes that man very bored because he met you on the F train. He didn't meet you on the making love train. When you feel that your sex can build a relationship to love making, when this guy may not be ready to calm down yet. But the first time y'all hit it, you have a soul tie. And usually women are looking to build with somebody and they make a mistake and they're falling in love where this person may not be on that midnight train to Georgia with them.
I agree.
But,
How do you feel about that,
but
Cab? Go ahead.
she's right. But one of the things I've had, and I would say two relationships had, all my relationships started off sexual, and once we got into a relationship, the stuff that we were doing, though on the F train, all of a sudden was considered like, well, we can't do that no more. And I didn't understand that part. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it
Because
became
she was
where
looking to build with you. She was
I
looking to
got,
build
but
with you.
I got that part, but we're in a relationship. And we could have sex in the car before we got in a relationship. Now in a relationship, they got to be in the bed. It's like, okay, why did we go from the spontaneous to the boring? You know what I mean? You
And
know,
that's why a lot of men leave. That's why a lot of
yeah.
men cheat because they have to stay on this spontaneous train. And women, we want to calm down. If we meet somebody that we feel checks all the checks in the box, and then
Hmm.
we want to be your wifey. I'm an animal. And I've been married 18 years. And we'll do it on our deck in our garage or wherever. We still do it that way because I travel so much. So when I come back, it's new to me again. So we keep that going on. But I have a lot of women that I help that says, I don't want to do it in the butt no more. I don't want to do that. We have kids now. When a woman settles down, and especially after a kid, it's going to get boring. They don't want to make love because their first love is nurturing their child. And sometimes we do forget about our mate, but that's why we have to continue to date. We have to continue to communicate. And when you started with the F train, it's gotta be ongoing. And some women can't do that because then a relationship starts to become a job. I gotta go to work. I gotta go home and cook. I gotta clean for my man. I gotta do his laundry. But before we didn't have all of that. We was just trying to hook up.
But hold on. This the case of your representative showed up, and now this is who you really are.
No, you got to hear what she's saying, Kevin. She made a good point, right? When you are dating, you have a different time, in mindset. But now you get together, we got this household. There's laundry that got to be done. There's dishes that got to be done. There's people that got to be fed. And you came from working 8 or 10 hours and you a little tired. So I'm just saying that maybe things can still happen, but maybe they're not going to happen on the same level as they happened before, because we got to be a little realistic here. We got some other responsibilities. Now I'm going to lay here and you can do what you got to do. I ain't going to say no, but don't be asking me to flip, dip, and split and all this other stuff when I just did 10 hours on this job, washed the dishes, in the clothes, and cleaned the bathroom. I'm a little tired. But the answer won't be no, but don't be expecting miracles because I'm sleepy. That's what Marcella's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe this relationship can stay continuous if the woman makes mommy time for herself, like nails, get your hair done, hang out with your girls, have some drink with your girls, go home, and you're going to be spontaneous with your man. But your man got to understand that we have our time, but I still need my time to keep that revving up for you. And that's what me and my husband do. I have my time, have drinks with my girls, come home a little tipsy, and I just give them some. And it's spontaneous. You know what I'm saying? But we understand each other's space. We understand that it's our time together. And in my marriage, we do date. We have a date night, and we don't make it the weekend. We go out where we can go out and dance to, we'll go to a little club where they playing the old jams, not where they playing what's out now. We drink and we kiss in the car, and then we pull up to our driveway and we want to do it in the Escalade. We roll down all the seats. Before we eat at the club, we be in the parking lot, we roll all 3 rows of seats down. And we know we're going to get it in. And that way I don't have to focus on the kids hearing us. You know what I'm saying? He can scream all he wants because I'm biting. I'm biting his shoulder, say he screams.
And here, what Marcel is saying, look at, because some women have a perception of how your lady is supposed to behave, so they feel like they have to calm it down to gain respect. So it's different people upbringing too, is how the role that they play when it comes to sex and love making and all of that.
I got that part in what they said. Ludacris said, "When a lady in the streets and a freak in the bed," and so it's real. So my thing is this: is that when you behind
That's not
closed doors and
real.
let your hair down,
That's
But
not real. If
what I'm
you have
saying,
children in your house, if you have children in
yeah,
your
you got.
house, it
Hmm.
can't be like the first night y'all did it. If you didn't go to her house and do it and her kids were there and you had your place, I just think how you can make a F train relationship go into love and still have that spontaneous. Don't move in so fast with that person. Don't live with that person. You have to continue to miss, date, communicate. Communicate is what actually makes you fall in love. The more you know about that person, the more they know about you. That's where the love begins. We might can
Hmm.
have good sex, but if our communication is not nothing, then that's why I tell ladies, before you drop your panties, please go on those 3 important dates and ask those questions on the date. First, if you meet a guy in the club, you want to see him in the daytime. You want to make sure that he has a job. You want to make sure, how did your last relationship end? If a guy tells me that my last relationship ended because she did this, you are not taking responsibility. And it's time for me to go to the bathroom and then duck out the door, because in a breakup, there is 2 parts to a relationship. I'm a New Yorker, so when my husband is country, he's from North Carolina. And what I learned about my whole body persona, it tells guys, don't play with me. I didn't have to say that out my mouth. Like if he bought one, when I first got here to Virginia, this guy bought me a drink. So after he bought me the drink, he left. And it came to like 11:30. He came over and said, "Bitch, I bought you a drink." And I was like, "What?" And so you know what I did? I took I ordered some 151 and I lit the 151 on fire. And I said, "You want this drink?" And I threw it on him and walked out the club. And I became the fire lady after that. They knew, don't play with me. And I never have ever accepted another drink from anybody. Never. I never let a man buy me a drink, because if I just got here, I've only been in Virginia a week. I'm coming fresh out of Harlem. And you little country guys down here, no, but I met a man that I'm married to, and he still opens up my door. Still opens up my door. We still go on dates. We still communicate about everything. I know my place. He knows his place. And we have
But
8 kids in our house. 8. And guess what we do? We make sure they in bed. We'll get in our jacuzzi together, get out. We do it in the shower. We find spontaneous places to do it instead of it just being in the bed. That's what makes it boring. You got to stand up. You gotta do different things. You gotta go places. Look, we're going on a date and we just go to a nice hotel. You gotta keep it going, but you just don't understand. A woman carries more burden than a man. Only time the man carries burdens when they get older and they're ready to settle it all the way down. But we want to grow with you.
Yes. Thank you, Burgundy Blue.
from
Yes, Marcella is making a very good point there. It becomes, when you're first dating, you carve out a different time to date somebody and get to know them. But at some point, you got to go back to the real world and you have responsibilities. You may lose some sleep when you first dating them, go to work a little tired the next day because you've been talking to them all night or something like that. But you can't maintain that for years on and weeks on and months on. At some point, you got to get back to reality and things got to cut down. And you're not cutting them down because you don't like them, because you don't want things to be the same. As your relationship evolves, y'all got to evolve and a bigger understanding has to come. Just like when you're first dating, Kev, maybe y'all going out to dinner 3-4 times in the week or whatever the case may be, or maybe 15 times a month. Nobody, like, as you get to know each other, you're not going to be going out those 15 times a month. You're going to be like, you know what? Nah, let's stay in. We're going to cook together. We're going to this. So things change as the relationship grows. And when things change, that means everything. No, we may have had crazy love making sex in the beginning, and not to say that's not going to ever happen again, but it's not going to happen the same way. Things are going to evolve and change. And as a man, the men in the relationship, y'all got to understand that. You said something very key, and I love it. Yes, here we go again. Yes, Marcella, we carry heavy burdens. That has to be understood,
And I'm
especially
gonna
if
tell you,
men. Go ahead, Marcella. Go ahead.
I want to tell you that's what happened to Danny Lee and the baby. She was the freak of the week, but once he put that baby in her, and when he wants it, because she explained, I just had the baby. He want to do it again. My son. He wants to do it again. She just had the baby 3 months ago. Now she's tired. And he's saying, wait a minute, you was my red bone. You done had this baby. You don't want to do it with me. She thought she was pregnant again and went and got a test, to kill the baby. And guess what? He didn't look at her the same. You're not sexy like you were before you had this baby. Now, when I want to do it with you, I gotta come home and play like a husband to you. And I didn't want to do that. You knew what it was. You knew that I was just hitting it and quitting it and you can stay here. But now you done bought another mouth to feed and you calling me the baby need pampers, the baby need milk, the baby need this. He's uninterested. He doesn't
Yeah,
want her anymore. And she
yeah,
needs to move on.
she does. And I think
what we
that's a
talking about?
the baby and his baby mother, the fourth one. That's the other thing I think, though, Marcella, that females need to look at. I'm not saying people can't change, but if the person you getting with has 3 baby mothers already, and if he is not getting along with those 3 baby mothers, have some type of clue in your head to say, well, can I be number 4 that he won't get along with, or maybe treat me the same and leave me here with this baby? So I think females too, we got to start making better decisions when it comes to these relationships that we are getting into. My heart breaks for her, but at the same time, you got to look at your role in the situation. This man had all, and the kids are all young. So you trying to say that none of those other 3 was worthy, was good enough, or did you just think you were going to
Because
be better?
it's just like drunk driving. People who get behind the wheel and think they're gonna get pulled over, or they won't get behind the wheel. You think it's not gonna happen to you, but you sit there and it's saying 3. You got 3 kids already. You get along with the mother. You already telling what he's telling you what's going on. But a lot of women think it ain't gonna happen to me.
But
People
you
think it's not
see,
gonna happen to me.
he a rapper. He's a rapper, and see, she looking at the money she can get. Let me tell you how smart the baby is. He's no dummy. He wants mothers to cooperate with him. But let me tell you what's getting ready to happen. He's setting Dana Lee up. He done filed charges against her for domestic violence, and he gonna end up probably he gonna probably get a lawyer that's gonna add on more charges, domestic violence with the child there, that would add into child neglect, and he gonna take the baby and get a baby to one of his other baby moms.
Which is so clear. Here we go and say, if you are fighting with your man about the frequency of your sex life after you've been together for a minute, then you are not growing together. And I totally, 100 wholeheartedly believe that. Y'all should be compatible, have an understanding, and you can always fit in intimacy. And sometimes intimacy looks a little bit different, but you can still be intimate. Everything doesn't have to be like we're having this sexual moment. You have to learn how to work it out and figure it out. And you have to figure it out together, because that's a couple that's going to stay together for a long time. Okay, so I understand that this dude's name is the baby. Yes, that is his name. That is his name. And that story is so crazy and sad. And I think he's pretty young. And already it's 4 baby mothers. And I want to say at least 4 children.
Babe, give me 1 second. I'm going to go pick him up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy.
But I'm going to tell you something. He has did everything. He has disrespected the LGBTQ community. They canceled him. And he has killed someone. He was forgiven. He has punched a woman in the face at a concert. He has been forgiven. And look what he's doing to our Black queen, who just had his baby. And he has been forgiven. But he disrespected a whole LGBT community of white people. And they canceled him. Now they decide to give him another opportunity. And look what he's doing. But nobody's canceling him for this. They respect what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. I think you know what I think the problem is too. When someone gets away with so much, they become immune to their own bad behavior, and they're never going to change. And that's what he's suffering with right now. He's gotten away with the ultimate, so much stuff that now he just has no respect. I don't care what happened. This is at the very least the mother of your child. Respect the mother of your child, the person that gave birth to your seed. And I want to say he told her to get out, and it was something like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Right. And she had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. With your baby. At least say get out and leave the baby here. I mean, for the night. But with your baby, you're like, just get out. I mean, I thought that was so messy. I have to say that. Huh?
What happened to Kev? What happened to Kev?
I don't know. He probably dropped out by mistake.
Oh, because I gotta go pick up my son from work.
All right, go. Oh, he's coming back in. No, Marcella, let me say this really quick. Yes, love you, girl. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Like, all
Yes,
right,
I'll
because
see you
tomorrow
next time.
that's what my page gonna be about tomorrow. I'm gonna say, do we ask our kings to treat us right? See, we getting so where these men are so disrespectful, and that's why in our community we just got a lot of single mamas.
Yeah,
Why?
right.
Why? We have to check these men. Tell them what you want. If they can't give it to you, don't let them play with your body. Move on.
Move on. Yes, girl. I'll pop in tomorrow. Text me.
All right. Bye
Love
bye.
you. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, here we go again. And I think that's kind of what Marcella was getting into before she had to go. Folks not even trying to create a family unit anymore. It's so incredibly crazy and sad. And the biggest impact is the children. It's like, why would you purposely just keep having these children and you have no intentions on trying to give them a family unit? It's one thing if y'all were together and y'all tried and you know what, it just didn't work out. And when I say together and trying, I'm talking about you was married, you tried, it just didn't work out, and okay, fine, you had to get a divorce. But these situations that he is creating is not. He don't care. He's just leaving his seed and whoever he leaves it in, and then you have no respect for the woman that gave birth to your child. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's absolutely insanely crazy. Um, so, Kev, we'll ease our way into that was nice, Marcellus dropping by. We will ease our way into the last topic because we want to kind of stick to the hour. One night stands. We kind of, talked about it a little bit. I think most men do not respect a woman that they slept with on the first night, or if maybe they had a one night stand with that woman and then she perhaps want more, or maybe even vice versa. It doesn't have to just be the female all the time. So how do you feel? You kind of talked about a little bit about in general just one night stands or just sleeping with someone on the first night.
Um, I've done it. Uh, you can't have great expectations. I don't think so. I think people try to turn good sex or a good moment into a relationship. It could happen, but for the most part, uh, it's a moment. It happened. You move on. My whole thing is men who don't respect women who have one night stands. What does it say about you? You know, it's like a drug deal. It's like a drug dealer uh, saying something about a drug addict. Well, you can call him or her a crackhead or whatever, but you're the one selling it to him, so you know better than them. So to me, I look at it the same way. If you sitting there and you want to sleep with a woman the first night, but you want to judge her, you need to look at yourself. So I don't believe in all that. She a hoe, a slut, none of that stuff. My thing is that like I said to one guy years ago, I said, would you want two women at one time? He said, yeah. I said, is it wrong if she wants two men? Well, so my whole thing is that. So, a lot of people double talk. You have to be willing to, if you want a woman that's respectful, then be a respectful man. Don't sleep with a woman on the first date. But if you want to do it, to each his own. I don't judge anybody by doing that. You know what I mean? But it's not. I don't think it's going to determine a relationship.
Right. Here we go again. Said, we feel bad for these young girls that have rappers and ball players babies, but some of them literally scout these guys out. That is a whole probably subject and topic we can definitely talk about just on one relationship Wednesday in and of itself. I do agree with you. Here we go again. Some of them literally seek these men out and they literally try their best to have get pregnant by them, but then it's like they're doing a little bit of repeated behavior too. If you see your fellow friend, ball player, whoever, is dealing with a woman who just wanted to have their baby so they can get this child support money, then why would you, because all of this birth control is not failing, you're failing to utilize the birth control. Why would you have unprotected sex with these young ladies, with these girls? I did personally know someone. It was a baseball player. They all, I don't know if they still do it to this day, but the teams usually always stay at the same hotels when they come to these different cities. I had a friend that knew every hotel for every city that this one particular team would go to when they played. And these women would literally be at the hotel with a bag, and they didn't care who they got to stay with that night. And I just couldn't even imagine or fathom that this even happens in reality. It was shocking to me. But it's like they don't care. And when I say, beautiful woman, and when I say wearing the least amount of clothes possible, and this was way back then. Now I think they're even wilder with the clothing. What I saw them with back then, I thought was wild, but now I could only imagine what they're probably doing and wearing and how this goes down. But I think it's even easier now because of social media. People will just simply send you their new photo in your DM, and they tell them, listen, meet me here, and this, that, and the other. It's like the men have to take some responsibility in this too, and keep their stuff in their pants. But if they do take it out, at least use the proper protection so that you can protect yourself.
Well,
Go
well,
ahead, Kat.
I want to say this. I was in Charlotte in 2017, and it was a kid basketball tournament, a youth basketball tournament. And it was in this little arena, and I was looking for a store. We had stopped to get something to eat. And you see the youth, and I was wondering, and I literally said this to myself. I said, why are these hookers by a youth tournament? Like, that didn't look right. Because I seen them on the street, they was had heels on, and I'm sitting there, and I'm saying, well, why are they by it didn't make sense to me. If you want to be a hooker, be on a different street, not where the kids are playing basketball in a youth tournament. Well, we in the restaurant, soul food restaurant, I forgot the name of it, it's in Charlotte, it's a popular one. And LeBron James walks through. LeBron James is hosting the tournament.
Oh.
These were the mothers of the kids. Now I have a daughter who played basketball. We went to the games. You wore jeans unless you came from work and you had a business suit on or something like that. These were the mother of the kids. Some of the kids. They got 6-inch heels on, breasts hanging out, short skirts. And I'm like, are you serious? And my mama came, but that's the point. This dude was here with his entourage, and they came out looking like hookers. And these were some of the
They was ready. They was
they was
ready.
ready. Yeah, and it was broad daylight. This wasn't even an evening game. This was a broad daylight. This is like 2, 3 in the afternoon. This like probably started in the morning, the tournament, because by the time we came in the restaurant, I want to say it probably was like 3 or 4 o'clock. And I was just in awe. I'm like, this is what's going on. So they do six. So I guarantee you, if your son has his basketball game, but it's being hosted by Kevin Durant, you're gonna see the mothers come a little bit different when they come to the mother game. Single moms are gonna be coming there a little bit different. They're not gonna be walking up there with jeans and sneakers on, and they're gonna be coming up there.
They're gonna be ready to shoot their shot, huh?
High heel and spandex and halter tops, and be like, what? And so yeah, that's just the way it is. So I mean,
we gotta do better. We gotta do better.
It's not just that. It's uh, in a roundabout way. Years ago in New York, this is the youngest one. I think he wasn't married at the time. The youngest Winans. They came to a church in Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn, and this girl said, "I never saw that many high heels in my church in my life." They were, they were. She said, "I never saw that many high heels in my." I was like, "Really?" She said they was going for. They was looking because the youngest one wasn't married, but she said, "I never saw that." She said people she never saw what high heels on had high heels on. And it was just like, people see they shoot their shot. So, this is how people are. So I mean, You can blame it takes two. Like I said, I can't get between your legs, you don't open it.
True, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but what I'm saying is you can get between somebody's legs, but if you want to protect your money and your legacy, then maybe you should make sure you cover it up before you get between the person's legs. So
Oh,
you think,
I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad. They
yeah,
knock somebody up. I don't feel bad for them. You knew what you was doing. You're a grown man.
right, right. But they want to cry about it afterwards and talk about all these paternity tests and they know what they did. But Kev, we said we was going to keep it to our hour. We are at
Okay.
10:15. Tell me your closeout for this subject. We talked about the 90-day rule. We talked about sex versus lovemaking, and we talked about one night stands. How would you like to close out the night?
90-day rules and love making versus sex. Then you talk about one night stands. Um, 90-day rule doesn't mean you want to have a long term. It's going to be a longevity in a relationship. It's based on what you feel. If you want a man to work 90 days, let it be based on you being comfortable with that situation. But don't think because you make him wait 90 days, something special is going to happen. Love making versus sex. It's simple. What is your connection with that person? Are you in love with them or are you in lust with them? You know, love making can be fun. Love making can be different things, but it depends on your connection with that person. And that's just me. As far as the one night stand,
Hmm.
it's choices. It's about choices. And um, understand you're making an adult decision. Anything can happen. Okay. You can get pregnant. You can get someone pregnant. Um, I don't understand to jump in the fire, then judge someone who's in the fire. You're just as bad as them. She's not. If she a whore, you a whore. If she a slut, you a slut. So if you got something to say, you're engaging in that situation. You can't be at the buffet looking at the fat man. Somebody look at the fat man, you fat too. So that's the way I look at it.
All right, I thank you. So thanks for joining me. I will see you next Wednesday night. We get into it, we're getting our stuff. I'll close out by saying this. I do agree with here we go again, right? It's a time period and a guideline so that you can get to know the person, so that you know a little bit of what you're getting into before you go that route and take it a step further. Because as Marcella said, there's a soul tied attachment once you engage, and we can have a whole conversation about soul ties. And then with the one night stands, no judgment, not for me. Never done it. Don't plan to do it. Wouldn't do it. And I almost feel like I don't know if this is possible or if it's a thing, Kevin. I almost feel like a born again virgin.
Mm, mm, mm.
I don't know the criteria. I don't know the criteria on the years. We can have a conversation about that another day. But that's what I'm feeling like, a born again virgin. I don't know. We'll talk about that another day. But thank you much. Thanks for joining me. I love when we have our conversations on Relationship Wednesdays. Guys, don't forget, hit the like button. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same place, 9:15 p.m. And if you have a topic you want us to talk about, my email address is going across the bottom there. Send me an email. We'll do a little research and we'll do the topic next Wednesday. Talk to you soon. Bye,
Good
guys.
night.
Good
Later.
night.